I gotta start off this video by saying thank y'all so much for getting us to 200 subs. You have no idea how much it actually means to us, and it's just crazy that we have 200 people as part of our YouTube anime and manga cult now. So yeah, arigato mas. But chapter number 71 of Kaiju number 8, boy do we got some things to talk about. Narumi pulling back up and slicing and dicing like he always does. Kaiju number 9 leading a full-scale invasion across all of Japan. And then Kikoru with the number 4 suit. We always thought that it was that she could fly, but who would have known that she's literally like a railgun in herself. But I am getting ahead of myself. Let's go ahead and get into the video. This chapter was dope because we got so much information about what's going on, but at the same time it sucked because it felt so short. Now with that said, I think that this chapter can be divided into two major parts. The first part would just be Kikoru and Narumi with their new suits, and then the second part would be the invasion of Japan by all of these kaiju. Now we will start off with General Narumi. This chapter really expanded upon how this suit is going to benefit Narumi in his favor. We already knew that with the number 1 ability, General Narumi is basically known as the future sight kaiju, or the number 1 abilities more or less allow him to see brain signals of another life form and then predict its movements. Now, whenever his suit powers up, you saw all over him that he has those eyes appearing not just in his eyes, but all around the suit as well. So this means that whenever General Narumi powers up that suit, he quite literally has 360 vision of all life forms around him and what their next movements are going to be. So if this is a one-on-one fight, dog, unless something is bigger or stronger than Narumi, chances are you lost. And we saw that in this chapter whenever these kaiju had Narumi surrounded. They had him in a circle and Narumi just squatted down and hit him with the onigiri. And right after that, Narumi immediately catches up and starts asking questions about what is going on. For the readers, this was crazy, bro. Even the people that are inside the defense force already had a good idea of what was gonna go on. They looked at Narumi and said, we gotta get out of here and evacuate. And while this is happening, Toku's like, no, go back and protect Narumi. Like, I'm good, I can run away. And they're like, nah, we gotta get out of here too. Right now, Narumi is the strongest life form in this vicinity. He is quite literally a human in Daikaiju form. Or a Daikaiju in human form. I said that backwards. But you get my point. So we learned a lot about Narumi, even though it didn't show a lot with Narumi, but it was awesome to see this and just kind of see his suit abilities expanded upon a little bit more. Now with Kikoru, we finally got a glimpse of her standing in the 4 suit, and it was awesome to finally see. Worth the wait, dog. She's been doing a lot of training, so I'm happy to finally see her in the 4 suit. And what was funny to me to see is whenever Matsumoto showed her standing in the suit and just how petite and awesome she looks in the suit, but then how brolic her battle axe looks in her back. But it just fits her so well, dog. Like, I just love the look of it, how bulky it looks, because that's just Kikoru's personality. It's big, it's bold, it's brolic, dog. So everything fits her so well. And bro, what? The whole time we thought the suit was a flying suit, but really she gets launched out of a railgun in this suit. It makes so much sense why she's known as the Valkyrie. While they said that the number 4 suit just kind of soars through the air like a Valkyrie. So I can't wait until next chapter when we actually get to see Kikoru get launched out of this railgun, and just to see how much damage she does whenever she gets launched out of there. We already saw Kikoru kind of give herself that speech right beforehand. She said, I'm nowhere near what mom was whenever she was rocking the 4 suit, but I'm damn sure gonna get there. And that just, bro, Kikoru just knows how to get my heart going. She gives me goosebumps, bro. It's something about the way that Kikoru just talks and that determination in her eyes, bro. You know she's gonna get it done. And even more so, I'm wondering where she is actually going to launch to. Because getting into part 2 of the video, we learned that we actually have 3 major places that are being attacked right now by the kaiju. The 3 areas that are under attack in Tokyo, Japan are the National Diet Building, which is under attack from multiple kaiju with fortitudes over 7, the area around the Oizumi Junction, which is a junction in Japan that connects major highways, and then the Shofu Airport. This is the kaiju trying to take out human sources of communication, transportation, and rule by taking away government buildings. Theoretically, this is already bad just due to how grand scale this invasion is, right? This is happening across all of Japan, and we're gonna talk about that in a second. But now with minimized rule, with them attacking government buildings, there could be utter chaos amongst the people, and that is exactly what Kaiju number 9 would want, because put yourself in those shoes. Imagine aliens come to our world right now, and they take away all of our communication. They take away transportation, that way you can't run away to safety or get away from that area. And then lastly, they take away all rule in that area. Whenever there's anarchy and utter chaos amongst the people, that is the perfect storm brewing for some outside force to come in and instill their power in that area. And that has to be exactly what Kaiju number 9 wants to do right now. He's just trying to create utter chaos. That way, when nobody can turn to anything else, all he has to do is just slide right in and be the ultimate driving force there. So this is scary to a new level because there has never been a mass scale kaiju attack like this before. And we know that somebody is behind the scenes pulling all these strings, making everything happen and making everything work. And who else could that be other than Kaiju number 9? And in this chapter, Matsumoto drew that dope panel, bro, with Kaiju number 9 moving that chess piece. I don't know what it is, but anytime that he is in a panel, Kaiju number 9 is the most captivating person in this series. I'm not saying he's my favorite character to see, but bro, whenever you see him in a panel, it's just something about it gets you going, bro. Like, you really know that things are heating up when Kaiju number 9 is in those panels. So crazy to see that all of this invasion is happening across Tokyo, and even more crazy to figure out that we are not isolated in Tokyo with this attack happening. Major attacks are happening all throughout Japan right now, nationwide, and Narumi is just as shook as we are as readers to figure out how grand scale some of these attacks are that are happening, right? And what we figured out is that we can't call in for reinforcements because of this. What Kaiju number 9 has done is he spread his attack out nationwide. That way we can't get all of our resources or our soldiers, more or less, in one area. He wants us to have to fight on as many fronts as possible. That way we are thinning out our lines. Even if he is thinning out his lines, you know that he has something else that he wants to slide in the meantime. And what I'm also curious about is, while all these attacks are happening in these different places, those Dai Kaiju or those special Kaiju that we originally saw right before the war started and they didn't attack anything, where are all these guys in the mix while this is happening? Are all of these Kaiju gonna go to one specific spot? Or are these other Kaiju chess pieces that 9 has that he's still just waiting to put out into the air? This is crazy that all these attacks are happening, and theoretically we haven't even seen his like trump cards yet. We haven't even seen his best cards yet. Like, also, we haven't shown our balls yet, you feel me? Like, wow. Boy, if you don't get... But you get what I'm saying. We haven't deployed Kafka yet. Kikoru is just now going to deploy, so 9 doesn't know about her yet. And even more so, we haven't even deployed people like Hoshina or Mina yet. Speaking of Hoshina, Soshiro Hoshina, we ended up getting introduced to another Hoshina in this chapter, and his name was Soichiro Hoshina. Now, what's crazy to me is obviously that there is another Hoshina that is within another division in the defense force. But at the same time, it's also crazy that this Hoshina just so happened to have a blade on his back. Now, I'll be very curious to see in what aspect does he use the blade. Is he just like our Hoshina from the 3rd division, where he is a mostly close quarter kind of fighter and he's better? His blade is a lot longer than our Hoshina's. His looks more so like a katana. So I'm very excited to see what he actually does fighting. And it's just crazy to me to see that obviously we know that Hoshina bloodline has been fighting Kaiju since the Edo period. This basically means that even in modern day times, the Hoshina family really carries an immense sense of pride with them, and that's why they want to join the defense force. There must be a lot of pride in joining the defense force, and that must be like a driving factor for all Hoshinas. So it'll be very interesting to keep on learning more about Hoshina and see what his driving force is. Maybe this is gonna basically teach us more about why he is so gung-ho and using his blades, or show us why he does want to give everything for the defense force. For me, I love Hoshina so much. He's basically my favorite character in the series. So it definitely taught us a lot about Hoshina family line, but Still need to learn a little bit more. But yeah, it's just crazy to see that. And that's really about everything that I can think of that I wanted to talk about with the chapter. Am I missing anything? Is there anything that y'all want to hear about? More than anything, I can't wait until next chapter when we finally, like I said, get to see Kikoru deployed and get launched into action. I want to know where she's actually going to get launched off to. The way that the chapter ended, they were kind of making it seem like she was going to get launched to the diet building where all of those kaiju were popping up with 7.0 fortitude levels. But to be honest with you, I think that Matsumoto's going to keep on giving people dope reintroductions back into the series. So even though we saw Kikoru about to get deployed, I could see her not getting deployed to the diet building and getting deployed somewhere else. And then I really could see either Hoshina or Kafka getting deployed to the diet building, just that way they could have a badass introduction or reintroduction of them knocking out all those kaiju that had those 7.0 fortitude levels. So that's just a prediction. Hey, that's me putting my meat on the table. And if I win this again, if I am the writer, if I'm sitting next to Naoya writing, just like I made that last prediction with Kikoru, then I'm gonna say something again next video, bro. But nah, man, thank you for watching this video. Happy that we had a dope chapter for Kaiju number 71. Kaiju number 71. Kaiju number 8, chapter 71. I'm just rambling, bro, and that's how you know it. So let me just cut this out. Arigato mas, and peace. That one was nice, bro.